You've just stepped into the Buzzy's Country Store podcast, part-time porch talk, part-time therapy session, and all heart. I'm Chief Larry, and along with your host, J. Scott Ridgel, we're serving up real stories with a Buzzy's twist.
Hello, welcome to the Buzzy Podcast. I'm J. Scott Ridgel, and behind the camera is Chief Larry Eberhardt doing his wizardry. And today we're very fortunate. We have our first returnee guest. Ray was with us for episode 3, and we worked our way through his first 50 years in the store. And I want to pick up from there and end up here. How's that for a...
There we go.
Now, when you left the store, did you have a exit strategy or a plan, or did you just say, I'm going to freewheel it and go for... I mean, did you know that you were going to go back to work, or had you thought your way through that much of it, or...
No, I had pretty much decided to concentrate on the dog jumping.
Even then?
Even then.
Huh.
And I guess it was 5 months I was retired.
Right.
And it was the worst decision I ever made.
Oh, you were bored.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, you've been so active.
You lose a sense of worth. It isn't a matter of making money. It's a matter of contributing.
Yeah, doing something.
Doing something.
Yeah.
So and then it hit me, who's going to hire somebody 56 years old to a job? So I did. I applied. Now, listen, I applied to 13 different county jobs from, I think one was driving the STS bus.
Ooh, that would have been
And
a good job.
got rejected by all 13.
Really?
I sure did.
You think they were ageism? You think they...
I'm sure that there were a lot of factors involved like that. It got so frustrating that I called somebody I knew up there, and I said, can you look at my resume and just tell me what am I doing wrong? And all he said was, it could be a conflict of interest.
How you figure?
Danny was a politician.
Was Danny in office?
He
then?
was.
Oh.
He was.
Huh.
And I said, yeah, that's all he elaborated on.
Maybe.
And I said, all right, then I need to look outside the box.
Yeah.
So I looked in the paper, I guess it was, and I saw this job opening, just a sales associate at People's Department Store in Lexington Park at St. Mary's Square. And I said, I can do that, just for a couple years, just to see what.
Yeah.
So I applied, and they hired me, and I was selling shoes. That is what I was doing. And
Did you have the little thing that you measured their feet and all that? And
yeah, you had all those little devices. They, to be totally honest, they were stealing more than I sold.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was terrible in there. And they were so good at it. They were so good at it. They would stand at one end of the shoe department and talk to me at the other end. And the whole time, hands are free, everything, laughing, and their feet have slid the box out, popped the top off, put the new shoes on, put the old shoes in the box, and walk out the door.
While talking to you?
While talking.
You were looking right at them?
And looking right
Well,
at them.
you didn't see them do all that?
I didn't see it, not at first. I mean, they had a rookie there, and they were taking advantage
The
of
word
it.
got out. Hey, you got a new...
Oh. And then one day, the regional manager came and said, look, we want to make a change. Would you take over the store? I said,
Take over the whole store?
yeah, manage the store. And great for the ego. After listening to what it was involved, I said, okay, I'll do it. Worst decision.
Well, obviously they had read your resume and knew you knew what you were doing.
The problem working for corporate retail, and we'll use them, Peoples as an example, if I sold one shirt today, it wasn't congratulations. It was, you need to sell 2 tomorrow.
Quotas. You had to hit a
Constantly,
quota.
constantly. And when people go to places and they're always asked by the checkout person, would you like to apply for a
Credit card.
credit card of some nature? They have a quota they have to meet, or they're reprimanded or fired. And we had a lady who ran the best department at People's while I was there. She was the best worker. But she was supposed to get 4 of those cards a month. And she didn't. They wanted me to let her go. And I said, I'm not doing that.
He's my best.
I said, you're crazy. So they asked me if I was going to go up against corporate policy, and I said, in this case, yes. And I went home and I told Mary, my wife, I said, now is probably the best time to make a decision here because I think they're going to let me go. So
Yeah.
I guess I beat them to the draw.
So what do you think? 1 year? 2 years?
It was a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Year and
You
a
know
half.
exactly.
It was the only job in my entire life that I quit. The only job. Then, but in the meantime, I'm still looking for something to do.
Right.
And there came a job at Belk department store as the security man. Anyhow, there is a room. Well, I won't do that. But anyhow, you had to check cameras. You had to make sure merchandise was tagged right. And if you saw anybody doing something, you had to approach them. But the rule of the game is you have to give them every opportunity to pay. So you can't approach them until after they go through the checkout.
Or they're heading to the door.
Right. And you've only got a few. Well,
I wouldn't want to do that.
that's so. A little story there. It's all about shoplifting.
Sure.
People love to know why prices are high. Well, they steal so much. So, in this particular case, they had a table with ladies' underwear on the table, scattered all around, And this lady came in. I had her on camera, and she just scooped them all up and went in the dressing room. Well, we don't have cameras in the dressing room.
Good.
So I went to the lady that's running that department. I says, when she comes out, you go in and see what you see. So she went in immediately and signaled to me, there's nothing in here. And this woman didn't have them in her hand. Or she didn't have a bag. Jay, she put every single one on.
How do you know?
And walk out the door.
You're just assuming that, though, right?
Right. But that's what the lady told me. Don't you know what happened? I said, because it probably happened before. I says, this is not my line of business.
So you were there, what, 6 months?
I was there 1 year.
1 year, wow.
Let it go.
Wow.
So.
Now, I didn't know you'd done that, too.
Yeah, 1 year.
So your experience in retail was, but you landed good at college.
So the next thing that popped up was St. Mary's College.
Right.
Which was a blessing.
Yes.
Which was a
Yes.
blessing. So here I am now about 58 years old. Might have been older. I can't remember. And I'm going into a place of young men and women who are, that's their atmosphere.
Right.
Is upbeat, young. And I applied for a job. Go in with a coat and tie on. Actually look foolish. And I walk in, and there's this gentleman who is running the bookstore. And he interviewed me. And we went through, very pleasant guy. And he says to me, he says, how are you going to be taking orders from people younger than you? And I said, I've never done it before, but I sure would like to try. And he said, okay. He said, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to hire you for 1 year. At the end of that year, I'm going to tell you whether I like you, and you tell me whether you like us.
That was fair.
That, more than fair. And every year for the next 10 years, same day, he'd call me in, says, you want to stay? and I was there for 10 years.
Well, you were probably there every day, right? You were honest.
Oh.
And you knew how to get along with people.
You know,
Why wouldn't you succeed there?
They never put no pressure on you.
Uh-huh.
I got privileged to do a lot of different things. The kids kind of liked me. I even coached the women's club softball team, which was nice. We traveled a little bit, but not much. Your money for those type of sports are generated through.
Especially a small college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's then I was waiting on a lady at the counter one day, and I says, "Ma'am, I gotta sit down for a minute. I don't feel very good." Says, "Can you excuse me for a minute?" So I just turn around and sit in the chair. So I said, "You know what? I think I'll go tell Richard, my boss." I said, "I think I'll call it a day." So I go in there. I said, "Richard, I'm gonna head on home. I'm not feeling well." And of course, like you said, I never missed a day. So he knew something was wrong. So I walked out in this hallway, which is pretty long to get to the parking lot.
Yep.
And I couldn't make it. I sat down.
Wow.
And I called my wife. I said, "You're gonna have to come get me." I said, "I'm having a problem, and I can't walk up the steps." So here she comes. And she has a little bit of background with medical and that type of thing. She says, "Let me call my sister, who was a nurse at one time." So we went up to her house in Great Mills rather than going home and laying in a chair or something. And the doctor told me that decision saved my life.
Really?
If I'd have gone home, I would have died.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
Wow.
he flat out told us.
Wow.
And so I went up to Ann's, who said, "Could be having a heart attack." So she called the Lexington Park Rescue Squad, and they transferred me to Southern Maryland Hospital by helicopter. I was there for 2 days, and they put a stent in me. And it worked. It worked.
Obviously.
No, it worked. So I go back about a month later for a physical with a heart doctor, and I thought I did really well. You know, running the treadmill, you got to do this, and I ran better than that. So I go home. Before I get home, the phone rings in the car. Turn around and come back.
Whoa.
I said, "Whoa, did we forget to pay him?" That's the first thing that comes to my mind. He says, "We're going to have to fix something." He says, it's showing up not right. And I says, "Well, what does it mean?" He says, "Well, we got to go in," and he uses these words carefully. We got to go in and do this. I said, "What do you mean by going in?"
Yeah.
He says, "Well, we got to go in." And I go, "You're kidding." So I'm going, "Geez, so much for retirement."
Yeah.
So he says, I said to him, "When are we going?" He says, "In about 2 hours."
Didn't even give you time to.
No. And they flew.
Well, that's good.
If you're
going to get blown out of the water.
flew me to Washington Hospital Center, and it was, let's go.
Well, what was up?
It was a heart attack, blockages. I had 2, but one of them was an aorta. It was getting ready to burst.
Ooh.
Yes.
So you dodged a bullet twice.
Oh my God. So I don't wish that operation.
Well, they got to crack you open, right?
Oh, cut you open from your here to there. And the recovery is every bit of 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It is. But I will tell you, I felt better afterwards to today, better than I ever felt prior to for a while.
Uh-huh.
It really, you get that blood pumping through you, it does wonders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody that has a blockage or hesitation, it's hard, but you got to get it fixed.
So what, 62, 4? How old were you? You went at 58 to the college, and this was, I
10
assume,
years.
a couple years in?
Yeah, I was about 63, 64.
Yeah. And they let you take sick leave, you were off and all the...
And I came back and worked there probably another 6 months. And I don't know, different little things were happening around the house and all. And I said, you know what? The man upstairs is telling me something here.
Sent you two?
I should be listening.
Yeah.
So I just went in and I said, I think we're going to call it. And that friendship with Richard Wagner lasts to the day. He was so good. We only had crosswords one time, and that wasn't even cross. It was just him being the boss
Yeah.
and all. And they had a new president come in, and the brother of that president had called the bookstore asking that we get these items to give as gifts to his brother. So Richard says, Ray, I want you to take care of it. Order whatever you got to order. Well, a lot of these items were not something you saw in the bookstore, and you had to buy 2 and 3 of to get them. Mm-hmm. And he said, do whatever it takes. It's the president. And so I did. And I said, Richard, you sure you want to do this? And so I did, and it was expensive.
And then he got upset because you did what he told you to do.
Oh, yeah. He didn't get upset. He did
No.
get upset. He did.
Yeah.
And,
Well, he probably had a budget to...
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They put him under, but he's, so let's see, what else happened? That was 2 jobs, 3 jobs. And then I just retired.
Retired.
I just,
Now, you said something earlier that you had been fooling with the dogs before?
Yes.
I thought you
I've
picked that
been-
up from the cops.
I've been doing that on a serious level since probably 2010,
Okay.
maybe 2010. One of the young ladies I met at the college and worked with became real good friends. And she was at my house one day, and we were down on the pier, and she had I had a dog. Actually, I had 2 dogs, brothers. One of them you like, one of them was called Ripken.
That's right. I remember
One of
that.
them was called Ripken.
Yeah.
And she just threw this thing in the water, ball or whatever. It wasn't a ball, it was a long thing. And he jumped in, but when he jumped in, he probably jumped 10 feet past it. And she goes, whoa. And I says, yeah, he does that all the time. She says, there's a sport going on now that does this. She's the one that told me about it. And kind of piqued my interest. And I said, he could do that. So I saw in a newspaper or something where they were having this event in Richmond. And Mary and I went to, not the dog, just went to see it. We were hooked. We said, our dog can do this and do it well.
Now, it was... See, I know nothing about this.
Okay.
Were they throwing it off a pier, or was this inside a gym, or what? What did they do?
Okay. Most of them were in pools.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And when I say pools, these pools are put up in a day. They're 40 foot long and 20 foot wide. Okay. And the fire department fills them up with water. However, there are ones that, as long as they're non-tidal, like a lake or something, they will jump in them. I have jumped, lakes and that, not in bays or anything like that. And you jump, the pier is 40 foot long, okay? If it's longer, They mark it in the back as to where he has to start. There's a football clock. You have 1 minute to jump your dog. If you have to walk to the end, he has to stay.
Oh,
It gets a little tough.
40 foot. He's
40
40
foot.
40 foot away.
So he's staying. You're walking to the end. You call him, and you throw this device, and he jumps in. Now, on each side of the pool, which I have pictures of, I'll show you,
Okay.
is measured like a yardstick. 1 foot, 2 foot, even down to the inches. They have 3 judges. Everything is based on the dog's butt. My dog might be bigger than your dog. So it equalizes the playing field. It's where his butt hits the floor, water.
Huh.
Not his paws, not his head. It's where his butt hits the floor. So if you think your dog has really jumped well, you're looking at 4 feet that don't count, pretty much. Okay. So, and that's what we do.
Well, is that the metric? Whoever jumps the farthest wins?
Yes. But
Well-
the 3 judges, you say
Oh, okay.
he jumped 10 feet. I say he jumped 10 feet 4 inches. And the third one says, I think he jumped 10 feet 2 inches. They get an average.
I mean,
So, that's how they do it. They get an average.
okay.
Now, the technical part in some of them is they put it on video, I guess. And that's how there's not much room for error there.
Yeah. Everything's high tech.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have sensors in the
You-
water that.
Yeah, you get into these bigger events, that's what you face. I'm not a big fan of that, but there's so much to it. If you're at the end of the pier, or a lot of times they bring a truck up and back it up, and that's the pier. If you have a pool outside,
Right.
there's no pier, so they bring a flatbed truck up, and they jack it up to a certain height, and it's certain length, and they, if the key to it is, if you want your dog to get the maximum jump, you have to get right to the edge, because that's where he's jumping, is where your foot is. If you're a foot back, that's where he's jumping,
He's going to lose.
and you've lost a foot.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't know that till later as we went along. But to learn all these things,
Sure. Sure.
and these dogs are smart.
So you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Oh yes, and new dogs too.
I couldn't resist that.
And new dogs too.
Well, so was Ripken your prize winner, or who's on the cover? Show your picture. Who's this?
That is Ripken,
That's Ripken.
and he's just been he's just been pulled out of the water about a month earlier, and he never was the same after.
Really
Never was.
traumatized. Well, it was freezing, wasn't it cold?
Oh my
And
God!
What do you,
Well, this is the creek.
well, what are you falling through the ice? Or?
Yes,
Huh?
yes. For
You weren't trying to train him, were you?
for
Out there?
over an hour
Wow.
before I even knew he was out there. It was in the winter, obviously, and it was almost nighttime. And these dogs know routine. It's time to eat. And I called him, and he never came. And I said, that's funny. I call him, and he never came. So Mike, the gentleman that owns the marina right across from me, he called me. He says, are you looking for your dog? And I said, yeah. He says, I hear this dog out in the middle of the creek, and it is really moaning. I said, oh, no. So I run down to my pier, and Jason was already, my son, was already down there looking for him. He says, I hear him. He's over over toward Mike's. So Mike goes out. He says, I see him. Now it's pitch dark. He says, but I can't get to him. I'm going, and if your dog drowns, it goes under the ice. What are you going to wait till it thaws out?
Yeah.
And me and this dog were pretty attached.
Bet.
Yeah. So this gentleman gets in his boat that's tied to the pier, a big boat. He says, I'll go over there. And he says, let me get the keys. We'll see if we can go out in the boat and get him. We broke the ice, just like a Coast Guard cutter, and we still couldn't get to him. Because the more we pushed the ice, it piled up, and it stopped us about 10 foot short.
Oh, no.
And there's this dog, and I could tell it was almost over. So I said, Mike, I'm going to go across this ice and get him.
No.
I said, yeah. I said, tie me up to this rope.
Wow.
And he says, I can't let you do that. I'll do it. He did.
What was his thinking? He was skinnier or lighter or
Younger.
young? Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, good man.
Oh, I'll never forget
You
it.
didn't argue with him, did you?
No. So we tied it. I think we tied it around his knees. Okay.
So you could pull him back
Yeah.
across.
So he got there. This is made for television, but it's true. He was still about a foot short after he stretched as far as he could.
Oh, no.
So he says, I can remember him saying, he says, God damn it, boy, come here, stretch. So this dog puts his paw, the other one was broke, puts his paw on the ice, and he is literally scraping the ice to get to him. And Mike finally grabs him behind the collar and pulls him up on the ice. And he hands him to me. And I set him down in the boat. And then Mike gets in. And we head back to the pier. And some of the people from the fire department and rescue squad were there. You really?
Word had gone out.
Yeah. So I reached down to pick the dog up. That's how cold it was. And I tore a whole hunk of his side off. The fur and all.
It was frozen?
Froze right to the bottom of the boat.
Oh.
I said, this dog can't put up with this. So we get him back to the house. Excuse me. And I call the vet. And, excuse me. And he says, you got to put something hot around his heart. He says, see if that'll help any.
Yeah.
So we got heating pads and put around his heart. And he eventually come back, but it took 3 days for his body temperature to get back to normal.
Boy, how long had he been in the water? What do you think? Hours?
They said over an hour.
Oh, just an hour.
His fur was froze white. Had ice just hung to him.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible, but he never was the same.
Well, he probably didn't want to jump him back in the water, right? He wasn't.
I have a picture. This is him when he was good.
after
Yeah,
he damn near
this,
froze.
this is a picture of him when he was good. He could do it.
Now, is that you've got a box full of ribbons? Is these his? These the majority of these his?
Well, in dock jumping, there's 3 organizations.
That's what it's called, dock jumping.
The sport is called dock jumping.
Dock jumping.
This one is dock dogs. It's nationwide, pretty by the rules, so to speak. Very
Strict.
very strict, very strict. And then there's one called North American Dock Dogs. That one is probably strict also. Then there's one that advertises family atmosphere. It's called Ultimate Air Dogs. I've kind of hung to that one because
Yeah.
your dog's still got to jump, still got to compete, but the atmosphere is just
Stuffy.
yeah, people are laughing and having a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you will enjoy this. It's organized by a guy who used to pitch for the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and his name is Milt Wilcox. He was a pitcher. He pitched in the 1976 World Series and won a game. Played with the Big Red Machine. You know, Pete Rose and all of them.
Johnny Bench.
Yeah, all of them. So anyhow, so we've done all 3. This was over on the Eastern Shore at a place called the Waterfowl Festival. And
Easton.
yeah, in Easton.
I've been there.
That's a pretty big event. So we'd never been, and we went. And the guy says, now look, I'm going to tell you a little something. You go over here to the Eastern Shore, the reason this is so strict and all, these people, they're serious about their dogs. These guys are hunters. You don't go mouthing off. You
Don't make fun of their dog.
don't make fun. You just jump and go. Sit down. And I watch, and it's true. I said, this is no fun. This is no fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I says, the only fun you can have is if you win or if you beat them. So, anyhow. But the ultimate ear, the biggest crowd we ever jumped in front of was in Richmond.
Now is that where you started? Is that you went
No, this one is once a year. I'm trying to think what it's called. But it's right in the middle of the city, and there must have been 5,000 people there. It was packed, and 300 dogs, and we won.
Wow.
And we won. We won one of them anyhow.
Now, what do you win?
One time did I win money. I got away from that.
What do you mean?
Well, back to the serious stuff.
Oh, you did. Oh, I see.
The serious stuff.
Well,
you jump for trophies.
now, does it cost you to enter?
It does.
Uh-huh.
It does. It's not cheap. Every time you jump, I think it's $20.
Oh, that's not.
$20 a jump.
Yeah.
And
A jump.
Well,
you mean?
no, let me rephrase that. They call it, I forget the word they use, but anyhow, you're allowed 2 jumps.
Okay.
And in those 2 jumps, they take the best jump. And that's for all of them. All of them do that.
Right.
All the organizations. But any dog can do this sport. They classify them in different levels. For instance, you got a little dog, they put them in that grouping
Right.
and go on from there. It's based on pretty much your initial jump. So in other words, if your dog jumps 15 feet, you're put into that group until you jump out of it. My first jump, I was at a place called Lily Pond. It was in a creek. We were jumping it was a lake. We were jumping into a lake. And I said, okay, here we go. First time. Never done this before. So it was Ripken. I said, sit, boy. He said he could do that. I mean, he was biting at the bullet to come after me, but he would sit there. And I throw the thing out, and I don't see him coming by me. He's not running by me, And I'm going, what the hell? It had rained that morning, and the top of the pier, they put like AstroTurf that for the dogs to run. It was soaking wet. He slipped, and he slid across and fell into water. They gave him 4 feet 8 inches.
That's how far he slid.
On his first jump, he got 4 foot 8 inches.
Poor dog.
I said,
Poor Ripken.
oh my God. His next jump was 23 feet.
Now
I
we're
said,
talking.
okay, we can do this, boy.
So did they average the 27 and give you 13 or whatever?
No, you get the best of the 2.
Oh, you got the best.
Best
Okay.
of the 2. Yeah.
Now, do you do any of that anymore? Are you still active with that, or you? Ripken's not around.
Ripken
right?
has passed.
Ripken's
Then I got Maggie.
right.
I got her from a boy named Day up here in Great Mills. He trained hunting dogs.
Huh.
She was into water when she was 12 weeks old. And she was really good. And I still have her.
Oh, good.
I still have her. She was in the North American Dot Dogs. One year she was ranked 24th in the country.
Oh, they have rankings.
Oh yeah, this sport is in every state in the country, and in 4 different countries now.
International.
Yeah.
Well,
If you can get your dog there.
So North American has its own.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
But there's just a lot of there's good side and a bad side to these dock jumps. I was at a dock jump, and it was Maggie, I think. She wasn't doing very well, and I'm sitting over there with Mary, and this total stranger comes up to me, And he says, "Your dog's having a bad day." And I said, "Yeah, it happens, like that." He says, "Well, you should be like half these people here and take your dog to the vet the day before." That's all he said. I
Oh.
said, "Is that what I think he means?" I said, That's the bad side of the sport. There are people, especially when it comes money involved."
Now, but what kind of money are you talking? Is
Oh,
it four-figure
no,
money or
no.
What? So you're going to drug the dog up to win
To
$100?
win, yeah, let's say that.
Maybe that's what those Eastern Shore boys are all doing.
I'm not. That's the only time I ever heard it, and I never did see it, but I wouldn't see it. That type, but it's interesting. We were over in the Delmarva area. A lot of events happen over on the Eastern Shore. Those guys really push it. So it's a 3-day event, and they eliminate your dog each day. If there's 100 dogs, second day there's 50. Get them down to 10. So I think it was Maggie. Maggie, in her very young days, was one of the 10. In fact, she was in first place at that time. And the rule of the game is when your dog goes up on the pier, the only way she can leave the pier is to jump. Any other way, she's disqualified. Well, I never had to worry about that. Maggie was very good to train.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm up there, and I walk down the end of the pier, and I turn around. There's no Maggie. She's gone. I said, they take those 10 dogs and line them up according to when they're supposed to jump. So they're down there in a line, and you have to walk up steps. She evidently did not like one of the dogs and went down there and was face to face with her. I'm going, oh my God, here we are the last day, and we're getting disqualified. And of course, my wife says, I've come all this way, spent all this time, and now we're getting thrown out. And I says, that's the rules. So we got disqualified.
Now, was that the North American, the strict boys?
This was Doc Dogs.
Doc Dogs.
This group here. Yeah.
Wow, they are tough.
Oh, it's
But any event, any sport.
Any sport is if you're going to run it right.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you got to have rules, but those seem tough.
We've Maggie got invited to Florida to compete in the national championships. We were jumping, and in the group was the world champion. And I think it was a German Shepherd. And Maggie, no, it was Ripken. Ripken jumped the biggest he ever jumped his life, like 27 feet. So it's just me and this other dog now. They've eliminated everybody else. And I says, I'm going like this. I've got him. Just, not showing your.
Yep.
So the dog jumped next. Holy crap, he about jumped out of the place. I think he jumped 30-some feet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I says, you are the champion. So we wound up second. I think that's the day we won some money. That's
probably why you were.
I think that's the day we won some money. But you just.
So back to the present. Do you still train Maggie? You're still not.
Maggie, when a lab gets 9 years old, 8 years old, you have to retire them. They won't let them jump because the exertion will roll their stomach and they'll die. And so when she turned 8, she wasn't allowed to jump anymore.
No ripping.
And COVID prevented that from happening too, because a lot of things just shut down.
Sure.
So
COVID.
and she was getting older and older.
So how old is she now?
Maggie's 10.
10. Okay,
10 years
because COVID was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. How old do Labradors get? What, they go 12?
Yeah, yeah. We're heading in that direction. It's going to be a sad day.
Well, it always is.
You know.
It always is.
But so I said, that's going to be it. I'm too old. It ain't going to happen. Well, I've inherited a lab puppy that somebody was going to,
There you go.
7 months old. It's a female. Oh my God. She's piqued my interest again.
There you go.
This dog she can thoroughly move.
What's her name?
Ruby.
Okay.
Ruby. I wanted to say Juby or something. It's Ruby. I didn't change her name from what the original people was Danny, my brother.
Okay.
But he got hurt, and they just couldn't take care of it.
Danny got her.
Yes.
Right.
And so we took it, and it's been really interesting. But now I've got quite attached to her.
You got her?
And to be honest with you, she went into water for the first time 3 days ago.
How far did she jump?
She didn't jump. She
Oh,
just swam out.
Uh-huh.
I would throw something, a stick or something, and just to see. And she's doing the dog paddle, but she had never been in the water. But it's,
Well, that's innate to them, right? The Labradors?
it is. It is. It's not to every dog. I've been to jumps. Tell you a dog that can't swim. Greyhounds. They actually have put a life preserver on the dog. He'll jump, and then he just sits in the water, floats in the water. The owner has to go and bring him in. We have jumped right up here in Leonardtown at the fairgrounds. It was called the Country Fair or something. They did it for a couple of years. And this person brought a wolf, a white wolf, to the event. Well, there was a lot of commotion.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't do that. Wasn't a bad animal. So they agreed to let her jump him, but he had to stay way away from everybody. I mean, way away, and had to be, I don't want to say chained, but they prevent him from moving around. He didn't growl, he didn't do it. He's pure white, but he was a strange looking animal.
How'd he do? Did he?
Couldn't jump too well.
Couldn't jump.
No, it wasn't his thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't, people think,
He's a wolf.
yeah. Now the best dogs in the world right now are the Army sniffing dogs. The police know they're called Belgian Malinois.
Huh.
Oh my God. When they show up, you might as well go home. The competition's over. They are unbelievable. 30 feet minimum.
Really?
Yes. Now, when I say 30 feet, picture two pickup trucks, and they clear them all. Maggie has done that once, that distance. That was her. But these dogs do it every time.
Wow.
Every time.
Wow.
So,
Hey, we gotta get you back. We never got to Kanye West. We got talking.
All right,
We'll get that story next time.
next time we're
Next
out of time.
Yeah.
All right.
We're trying to stick to 45.
Oh,
40 minutes
okay.
or so.
I'm sorry.
But I told Larry earlier. I said, now I want to get to the dogs because.
Let's go to Kanye West.
All right, tell it. Can we
2
tell?
minutes. Run it. I'll pay the electric.
Okay, just because I've teased it, we'll tell the
Okay,
Kanye West.
real
story.
quick. So, I don't know anything about rappers or rapping or anything, and I was working at People's department store in Lexington Park, and this girl who was also working in the store would go out at lunchtime, come back, and she would go to this little water shop, which was right next to People's in Lexington Park. And one day I walked in there, and meant the owner, who was Kanye West's father. And he actually was teaching, I think, at the College of Southern Maryland at the time. But he owned this water store. So he says, let me introduce you to my son. And this gentleman was sitting over at the table just looking at a computer or something. He gets up, he comes over, he shakes my hand. Hello, how are you? Nice meeting you. Clean cut, polite, perfect gentleman. Perfect gentleman. And that was it. So this happened maybe 2 or 3 times I would go over there. And one day I sat down with him, and he told me what he wanted to do and all this. And I said, okay. So the last time I saw him, I was sitting in the parking lot, and a limousine pulls up. And he gets out, and they were coming to pick his father up because his mother had just died.
Ooh.
And they were going to take him. And that was the last time I ever heard or saw of him.
Well, the vape, it wasn't a vape shop, water shop.
Water shop.
And
I
that-
mean, flavored waters, all of that. And it was like you could go in and hook up to the internet. all
but
that.
it didn't last long.
No,
Stored there.
no, maybe a year, maybe
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. I wondered about that when that went in there. I wondered, how the heck's he going to make it?
I think he even performed there one night, but
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't. I didn't see it.
All right. Well, I'll look for that in the Enterprise
I think he did. Well, he was a no name. Nobody knew him.
at the time.
It would be like me performing it. All right.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
And thank you guys very much. And we'll get. I want to hear the Carl Brown, Ted Williams story. Don't start it. We'll get you next time. See ya. Thank you.
All right.